So that's the good news. That's the good news for the sexual pervert. See, God created sex, and it's a good and wonderful thing, but to be used, to be enjoyed within the confines of holy matrimony, one man, one woman, holy matrimony. Then you can go at it like rabbits, have all the holy sex that you want. So that's the good news. See, the good news, there's good news for you ladies. Ladies, wait, I got a public service announcement for the ladies. I've got good news and bad news for the ladies. Yeah, lean in a little bit closer. Okay, good news for the ladies out here. Well, bad news. Let me start with the bad news first, okay? Sorry. Bad news for all the ladies, okay? Hold on. Bad news and good news for the ladies. Bad news, ladies, I'm already taken, okay? Okay, that's the bad news. I am sorry. I am so, ladies, don't worry. There's too big of an age difference. I am so sorry, ladies. A good godly woman snatched me up like 28, 29 years ago. A good godly woman grabbed me 29 years ago, and we have a holy matrimony, sex the way God intended it inside of marriage. But here's the good news. Here's the good news, ladies. Ladies, look, wait, don't start weeping, okay? I know I'm taking. The good news is for the ladies. Good news, ladies, if you will be good, godly women, you could land good, godly men like me and Steve. You could. That should give you incentive. What more incentive, aside from, that's just one of the perks, aside from eternity in heaven, you could land good, godly men like me and Steve. Now, land somebody more your age, that would be more appropriate. But if you will be a good, godly woman, you could land good, godly men like us. So that's good news. So that's good news for the sexual pervert, right? And then religious hypocrite. Now, they always like to tell us we're religious hypocrites. Now, a hypocrite is someone who says one thing and then does exactly the opposite. Well, that's not us. See, there are a lot of religious hypocrites out there. We've had some of them today. I don't know if he's still here. One guy, we always have people who claim to be a Christian. We always have people who claim to be a Christian, and then inside of 10 seconds, they're already dropping F-bombs and telling people, oh, don't worry, God doesn't punish anyone or anything like that.
That's because that's their interpretation of religion.
No, see, the problem is, so let's take a look. See, you guys love to hear whatever you want to hear. You know, even Gwen Stefani said it pretty well. She said, don't speak, don't tell me because it hurts. Don't tell me because it hurts. Even Gwen Stefani has better doctrine than a lot of you. But in Jeremiah, let me find a good version.
Okay, here in
Jeremiah 23, God told the prophet Jeremiah, he says, I have seen also in the prophets of Jerusalem a horrible thing. They commit adultery, they walk in lies, and they strengthen also the hands of evildoers, that none doth return from their wickedness. They are all of them unto me as Sodom and the inhabitants of Gomorrah. What was God angry about? What did God tell the prophet of Israel that he hated? He hated these false prophets who were telling them whatever their itching ears wanted to hear. He said that they walk in lies and they strengthen the hands of evildoers so that none does turn from their way. That's what's happening when you listen to people who just tell them whatever you want to hear. They're strengthening your hand in your sin. They hate you. Me and Steve are probably the two most loving people out here today, because no matter what the cost, no matter what the scorn, no matter what the mockery, which we know we're going to face every time we come here, we're the ones that are loving enough to warn you to flee from your sin, that if you're you're having fornication, you're in trouble with God. It's not okay with God. It doesn't matter if everybody does it. You know, there were a lot fewer people inside of the ark than there were outside. Majority rule does not matter with God. God wiped out the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, very populous cities, and only 3 people actually only made it out completely alive. God does not have a problem wiping out 99% of a population if only 1% is willing to be obedient to Him. And my ministry is actually called Itching Ears Ministry because of that Bible verse where it says, "For the time will come when men will no longer put up with sound doctrine, but instead, to suit their own desires, they will gather around themselves a great number of teachers who will tell them whatever their itching ears want to hear. They'll turn their ears away from the truth, and they'll turn aside to myths." See, this is why I bring out, this is the bad news side. We'll get to the good news side in a second. This is the bad news side of the banner. And see, if you're an atheist, you're going to want to surround yourself with people who say, "You're fine not believing in God. It doesn't matter what you believe. You believe what you believe, and I'll believe what I believe." If you're a drunk, you don't want somebody coming up to you. You don't want somebody coming up to you and telling you, "You die as an unrepentant drunkard, then you're going to spend eternity in hell." No, you want somebody who's saying, "Oh, well, just sort of drink in moderation, or just don't drive and you'll be okay, or God doesn't care if you get drunk. Everybody gets drunk. You're young. It's college. Get drunk. Have a good time." Nonsense. We are here to tell you the truth. When you're a liar or a thief, you don't want somebody telling you that, you know, the Bible says that all liars shall have their part in the lake of fire. Because you'll say, you want to surround yourself with people who say, "Well, you had to tell him that lie to save his feelings. Well, you had to tell him a lie to get that job. Well, you had to tell him a lie to get that good grade and to get your certificate." No, God hates liars. He hates thieves. And you don't want to surround yourself with anyone tells you what your little pet sin, your little favorite sin, your pornography addiction, or your homosexuality, or your sodomy, or your drunkenness, or your drug addiction, or whatever your favorite sin of choice is. You don't want anyone ruining your little party. But let me tell you something. There's no party in hell. The party in hell has been canceled due to the fire. How many times do we hear people saying stupid things like, "Well, I want to go to hell. That's where all my friends will be." No, you will be isolated. You will be in your own little... You want to talk about social distancing? You want to talk about social distancing? There's going to be some serious social distancing in hell because you're going to be all by your lonesome, burning in a lake of fire in outer darkness for all of eternity. And we don't want that for you. We're not out here, as you all want to say, that we're preaching hate. Do you think we relish the idea of anyone going to hell? Not a bit. People say, "Well, why do you come up here? You guys just hate us." If I hated you, I would be at home on my couch eating potato chips, forgetting all about you and just ignoring you. That's what show more hatred. Because if I know that there are people out there, we want to pour ourselves out like a drink offering. We want to pour ourselves out to you to say the time is running out. Right. Time is running out. Even if the end doesn't come for millennia after millennia, your time is limited. The Bible says our life is like a vapor. It's like a mist. It's here